After the shortest track of the season just 1 week ago, we head to the longest track of the season. This is the Skip Barber 2K World Cup from historic Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. These drivers take on some of the most famous corners in all of motorsports: La Source, Air Rouge, Radion, Lecumbe, Rivage, Puyon, and then we've got ourselves, of course, the Flying Chicane, Stavelot, Blanchimont, the Bus Stop. That is what makes one of the world's greatest racetracks. It is right here in Belgium. It's right here on RaceSpotTV. Qualifying has just gone underway, and our coverage will start next.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
The historic racetrack of Circuit Spa-Francorchamps plays host to another round of the Skip Barber 2K World Cup, and of course, after the joys of Summit Point just 1 week ago, the shortest track on the schedule, we then go to the longest track, the race that just a couple of hours ago, spoiler alert, Lewis Hamilton won, of course, in Formula 1 action. Here, it is just a little over 5 minutes past 8 GMT, as we can just have a look there at Vinicius Rocha heading himself down through the final chicane. Qualifying is already underway here. This is the Skip Barber 2K World Cup, and drivers, well, they're just doing their qualifying as we speak. There you can see Vinny in that JD car heading himself behind the trees as he exits Stavelot number 2, and now he'll go down towards the bus stop chicane. This is, of course, in fact, we get the right angle up, this is exactly where Nico Rosberg had his huge tyre failure just a couple of days ago in practice, in the Grand Prix practice. However, Vinny looking good. He headed himself down towards Blanchimont. Those first times will head up on the left-hand side of your screen in just 1 moment's time. Will Vincent, Jacob Young, even here on RaceSpotTV. Don't forget, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on Twitter, and, you know, be friends with us on YouTube as well. Vinny heading himself out of the final corner, left-hand side of your screen. So you can see the time. Vinny will post a lap. What will it be as he heads himself down in towards turn 1? I have to say, actually, no, he's not going to do a lap. So, all of these drivers have actually had to do themselves 2 warm-up laps, and that could be interesting over the course of this qualifying. Our aerial coverage here today, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by And1 Design. They are the official graphics partner of RaceSpotTV. As we got ourselves a magnificent look then up from the Air Rouge Radion complex, heading themselves down the back, the Kemmel straight away in towards the Lacoon complex of the racetrack. And our onboard coverage here today is brought to you by the iRacing app for Android. The iRacing Forum app for Android. Downloading it now from the Google Play Store. That is the iRacing Forum app for Android. So, all these drivers looking as though that they have actually done themselves 1 qualifying lap. Philippe Barber has done himself a lap. He currently leads qualifying. Vinicius Rocha there, Jacob, didn't do his first lap. He had himself an off track. It's all on him now to make that Jack Daniels car good in his second lap. I just can't hear Jacob right now, so I will come back to him in just 1 moment's time. I'm just trying to figure out what the issue is there. But as you can see, Vinicius Rocha heading himself down towards the Fangya chicane once again. So he's all the way down in P number 24 right now. We want to pay attention though towards the front of the field. Philippe Barber, he's had himself a miserable season as of late. He is now working himself down in towards Pure, but he has pole position by 0.3 of a second over Euro Lampi as they head themselves down towards underneath the Alliance Bridge, down and towards that Fangya chicane. As Philippe Barber, you can get a look there. Sector 1 time 106.162. Sector 2 will come up on your screen just a couple of moments time. It's a long first sector according to our split time. Sector 2 there 28.300, so you can see very short sector 2. But now Philippe Barber will head himself down towards the bus stop chicane as he is going to work himself towards the end of his second lap. Ethan, Philippe Barber having himself a good run in qualifying so far.
I think he can carry this one into the race as well. Hopefully he does. I'm rooting for him in this one anyway. Obviously Spa-Francorchamps, a long track for a Formula 1 car, but even for these skippies, it's exceedingly long track.
Well, you can see there, previous lap 248.426 for the driver of Philippe Barber. Past the start finish line. Can he improve this time by? He is heading himself towards the start finish line. Vinny has done a lap and he's gone to pole position. 248.152. Euro Lampi up into P number 2 as well. Philippe Barber down into 3. But of course, this is the endurance layout, so the pits time will come right about now. Can Barber go back to the point? The answer is no, he can't. P2 only for Philippe Barber. Vinicius Rocha on provisional pole position after what was an incredible run there by Vinny on his second lap. We were focusing on Barber. Ricardo Farage has done a lap. He can't improve. We have a look down the field. David Grunhill is on track right now. He's heading himself down towards Lacoon. He has done 2 laps. He is done as far as qualifying goes. A couple of drivers have yet to finish their times. Here we can see number 11 car, David Stefani, as he heads himself towards the finish line. He was in P18. He moves himself up to P11. Nice jump there for Stefani at the end of qualifying. So Stefani, a good run by him. Rob Adams is on track, however. He has done his allotted 2 laps. No drivers are currently scored on the racetrack, but Jacob, it does seem to be as though that as far as this race goes, it is going to be Vinicius Rocha starting it on pole position once again. Actually, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, qualifying has just concluded, so let's run yourself then through your starting grid for this, another round of the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. Vinicius Russia will start this race on pole position with Philippe Barber just 13/100ths of a second further back. Then, Ewan Orlampi in third and Johan Karjan in the fourth position. Moving on back just a little bit, we got ourselves Ricardo Ferret in fifth, Johnny Guindi in sixth, Arjun de Verde in seventh, and Rob Reed in the eighth position. Richard Avery in ninth, David Grunhill in 10th, Stefani in 11th, Frank Winter in 12th, then Matt Defoe, Paul Malokas, Jerome Haag, Will Fisher, Brian Dahl, Duncan Coppage, Rob Adams, and Karthik Pai rounding out your top 20. There you can see your field on your screen. This is something you want to pay attention to. These drivers are not lining up at La Source, they are instead lining up on the run down in towards the famous Air Rouge Radion Complex. And that is going to make the start of this race incredibly interesting, because they are not going to have to go down to 30 miles an hour at the start of this race. Instead, what they're going to do is they're going to be flat out all the way down in towards Lacombe. Just waiting for now for a couple of drivers to head themselves down to the starting grid to get this race underway. We've got most of them now on the starting grid. We're going to get ourselves a look there. You can see from our crane cam as well. We have just got one more driver left to go, and then we will indeed be racing here in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. 14 laps then around this magnificent racetrack, and it is going to start officially on RaceSpotTV right now, as it's a good start there by Vinny, a good start also by Philippe Barber. They hit themselves down into Air Rouge for the first time. We're going to ride on board immediately with Philippe Barber as they work themselves up the hill for the first time. You can see Philippe has already got himself an incredible start as they head themselves down in towards Lacombe for the first time. So it's a little bit like mid-Ohio where they start on the back trolley, but look at this, 2 wide, 3 wide already as they work themselves down in towards Lacombe. And now it's going to be a case of get your positions sorted out, because here we go, back on board with Philippe Barber. He has moved himself to the race lead for the time being in towards Lacombe, but they are 3 wide behind him as they work themselves down through Lacombe for the first time. So Philippe Barber leads this motor race, but behind him he's got himself an absolute gaggle of cars. Vinny is in second place, Ewan Orlampi in third, Ricardo Ferrer in fourth, and Ewan Karjan in the fifth position. But look, Ethan, all the way down this pack, they are still 2 wide into Rivage, now down towards Pure.
Yes, they are indeed. I believe that everyone got off the line cleanly there. No incidents at the back of the field. They'll soon be getting into single file, and hopefully after they get into single file, we won't have any crashes. Everyone who has started this race will be able to finish cleanly at least. I say there will be a good fight at the front of this pack, and hopefully there is. Well,
yeah, indeed. Philippe Barber currently has a 0.4 of a second advantage over Vinicius Russia. Ewan Orlampi runs himself in P number 3 right now. There you can see the gap between P2 and P3. It is about 0.8 of a second. Now, this is important because if Vinny can gain an advantage over Orlampi on this back trail where they run down in towards the boss stop chicane, well, we could be looking at a 2-horse race already. You can see the gap from P2 to P3. There's the gap towards the front. It is currently 0.4 of a second. Russia, well, let's see whether he tries to go for the race lead here, whether it'll work with Barber, or whether or not he'll stay in line, because that gap is ticking towards 1 second. But Russia already there, getting the brakes on, allowing this gap to just form, and that is mean a 1/10 of a second has gone already on the run down into the boss stop chicane as Ricardo Ferrer is trying to put the pressure on to the driver of Ewan Orlampi as they come down in towards the boss stop chicane. Orlampi will move himself up into the third position, which gets himself a look there at the exit of the pass. The 316 machine now up into that third place. Ewan Orlampi in the 316 car behind. They're still scrapping. You've got Johnny Guindi there battling out, and look at the gaggle of cars. This is just like what we see in the Pocono IndyCar race right now. Down in towards La Source they come for the first time in this event. Now, bear in mind, this race does not finish after the box stop chicane. It finishes right about now as you head yourself down in towards the Air Rouge Radio Complex. Johnny Guindi in P number 9. You see, he's got a clear track behind him. He's got himself 1.6 seconds back, and that is going to be important over the course of this event. But here comes Vinny right behind the driver Philippe Leber. He looks down to the outside as they come down in towards Lacombe. He's got an easy overspeed there. That will put Vinicio Trotcha into the race lead as we work ourselves into lap number 2, and behind Ricardo Farah and Ewan Orlampi going side by side as they come down into Lacombe as well. Looks like the battle on that one will be Ricardo Farah, Ethan.
Yes, it does, Will. As I said, hopefully this does be a clean race throughout, and hopefully this should be a good fight coming up, Will. Most of the field now in single file. A few fights as well down the back of the field, and yeah, hopefully they can all come out clean as well.
We just looked on board of Johan Carlton. He's in P number 6, and just ahead of him is Richard Avery. For any of you that watch Monday Night Skippies, of course, Richard Avery was in a little bit of controversy just a week or so ago. There you can see a look from the rear of him in P number 5, and of course tomorrow night Club UK Ireland do exactly the same thing here in UK Ireland. The Monday Night Skippies on RaceSpotTV. Richard Avery, that Friction Racing car, is currently scored in P number 5. You've got Rob Reed there in the action as well. A 5-car train actually, as those look down into your mid-pack. Look at how deep this one goes though. It goes pretty much all the way down to Markel Seedle in P number 25. So you've got about 12, 13 cars easily separated by a couple of seconds on the racetrack. As though we get ourselves another look at just how big this gaggle of cars is. You can't even get them all in one camera shot. There is the driver out the rear of that one. It is the driver of Hikam Kadri in the number 52 machine, all the way down in P number 26 on the exit of Stavolo 2. They work themselves now towards the start finish. Now we'll talk yourselves about rules and regulations in just one moment's time, because we've got ourselves now ongoing battles for your race lead, but ongoing battle as well for P7 and P6. This is Rob Reed. We go on board with him down in towards the bus stop chicane. He's got himself Kieran Caldron on the inside, and Rob Reed's not able to do anything about that one for the time being. He's got to be careful because he's got Arjun DeVerd right behind him on the racetrack as they will complete lap number 2 of 14. And you have to bear in mind this racetrack that you do have very strict track limits. Now that is enforced in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup, so you've got to pay attention to it. Otherwise, you could end up with a disqualification. These drivers know that one oh so well, and that is why you will not see drivers pushing wide on the exit of La Source or the exit of Pure. Exit then of turn number 2 on this racetrack. La Source Radio. Up the hill they come once again, Ethan. Ricardo Farah looks very strong in P number 3 right now, but to the race lead, here comes Philippe Leber.
Yes, indeed, Will. This has been a good fight so far. Not that big of a separation, but yeah, I think they should be all close together. And if I'm right, the slipstream in the Skip Barbers is highly effective and will come into play in this race.
It will do indeed, and of course you see that many times here on both Sunday Night Skippies and also on Monday Night Skippies, as there's your top 3 separated by just one camera angle as they work themselves down into Rivage. They work themselves behind the trees very briefly, but you'll see we'll pick them up back again, so head themselves down into No Name Corner. Now they come down into this beautiful sequence of racetrack, one of my favourite in all of motorsports. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Pure. Right on board with Ricardo Farah. We'll get that speed chart up. You can see just dabbing off the throttle here. You can see Farah is going a little bit wide there, down in Pure number 1. That's going to allow Farah the advantage, but maybe not there. Vinicio Trotcha just taking it off track, knowing the fact they'll have the speed advantage down into the final chicane to hold off Ricardo Farah. But for the time being, it's still Leber from Rocha, from Farah, then Lampi and Cauldron. They are your top 5. Avery is down in P number 6 right now. Most drivers have had themselves an off track at some point already in this race. It's one thing they will have to bear in mind. They can see your biggest movers and shakers in the race so far. 2 places up for Ricardo Farah, 4 places for Richard Avery, 6 places for this driver, Brian Dowell. He runs in P number 10. And well, he's got no one ahead of him right now, but he has got a pack of cars behind him, because Brian Dowell leads that second pack right now, Ethan.
Yes, he does. That second pack looks very anxious to get past at least, and as you said, off tracks will become an infection. I've been disqualified from a few races here at Spa-Francorchamps because of them off tracks. They're very sensitive, and especially in these skippies, very easy to run wide. So yeah, they have to watch about their off tracks. and hopefully not make contact with our cars. But yeah, good fighting going on here. So yeah, hopefully this will continue for the rest of the race.
Riding on board with Will Fisher there in the number 61 car. He almost got himself past Frank Winter, wasn't able to do so. We've actually got ourselves right now a battle between Rob Reed and Joan Grundy. They can see side by side exit of the last horse hairpin, heading themselves down to complete another lap as well. Rob Reed's going to tuck in behind. That is arguably advisable as they work themselves down in towards the Air Rouge Radion complex. Air Rouge, that's that left hand flick. This is Radion. Never call this Air Rouge. This is all Radion right here. Taking the curve. Both of those drivers of Rob Reed and Arjun De Verde. The gap was pretty much nothing. De Verde is actually going to move himself now ahead of Ian Colgan. And if you are Rob Reed, you get yourself a nice driver's eye view of it. Rob Reed might actually get himself the ability to dance down to the inside as they head themselves down in towards Lecombe. And indeed he does so. So Rob Reed will move himself up into P number 7. Nice, clean, simple overtaking manoeuvre there over the driver of Johan Caldron. But out front, there you can see Philippe Leber as they come down in towards Rivard once again. Leber leads us motivated, although Ricardo Farah isn't too far back right now, and Philippe Leber is keeping his cool. The pit window here, it is kind of wide, Ethan, because of the fact that it's such a long racetrack. We're expecting drivers in anywhere between lap number 5 and about lap number 8. We just lost even, so we're getting back in just one moment's time. They can see Ricardo Farah down in P number 3. We ride ourselves on board and gap to the race leader. 0.6 of a second right now as that number 4 machine is just staying in tow. Your race leader so far, Philippe Leber, has led 2 laps. Vinicius Rocha has led 1 lap. Farah has not led any. Any of you who has seen a Sunday Night Skippy so far this season will know the last lap is the important lap. And this is an important thing here because at this racetrack, you can pass down into Lecombe. You can pass, arguably, down into Rivard, into the Fanga Chicane, into Blanchimont, into Stavelot even, or into the bus stop, or into La Source. La Source could well be a critical part of this racetrack on the final lap because of how far down the road the start-finish line is. You can see Farah getting out of the gas once again. That pit road window will be open next time they come past the start-finish line. So no one coming towards pit road this time as Brian Dow and Paul Malokas going side by side almost as they head themselves now out of the Blanchimont corner down in towards the bus stop chicane. Brian Dow on board of him with his teammate. Nice, clean, simple pass. Dow moves himself up into the top 10. That moves Paul Malokas down into P number 11 for the time being. In fact, Malokas got himself a little bit of drama behind him because he's got himself the ability. No, actually, no, he won't. He'll stay in line for the time being. I don't think that will be a dive down to the inside. In fact, it might be a dive down to the inside in towards La Source. Thinking better of it though, goes Paul Malokas, so he will stay in P number 11 for the time being. Frank Winter is right behind him, but Vinicius Rocha, a good run as they work themselves up the hill. This is him battling for the race lead there, Ethan, and Vinicius Rocha putting pressure now on Philippe Leber. This is what we often see from Vinny as we get ourselves close to the midway stage of the race. It does seem as though we've lost ourselves even for the time being. And you can see Vinicius Rocha still on board with him. Down in towards Lecombe they come one more time. And no, Vinny staying in line. He's playing the waiting game. He will not allow this one to go to Leber for the time being. He's not going to allow Leber to run away with it. But what he will do is he'll just stay in line and wait until they get themselves in towards that pit stop window. Behind, Richard Avery's moved himself up now into the top 5. Uranor Lampi is currently scored in P number 4. There is Uranor Lampi. There's the gap between himself and Richard Avery though. 1.9 seconds. Avery has fallen off this rear pack, and that is not what this friction racing driver would want to have happen to him just 4.5 laps into this event. There we are, on board with Avery. Through Puyon they come, and you can see that gap has come down a couple of tenths per second. The reason for this is because Nora Lampi's in that front pack. It means that you're realistic. Oh, we're going to drive her off. Philippe Leber is off there. This is down in Puyon, and that's going to allow Vinicius Rocha the ability potentially to go past. No, they will stay in line for the time being. Replay though of what just happened to Philippe Leber. We saw him go wide there down at Puyon, and that could have been a race-ending moment for Philippe Barber. Let's have a look what happened to him as he comes down into Pure, where that car looks like he just brushes wide. Yeah, he gives up, actually. You can see behind, Vinicius Roche doesn't want to yield to the bait, though. Barber gets himself a huge bump, but Roche was like, I'll just stay in P2 for the time being. I'm saving gas. That's what's more important. Barber still leads this motor race. Roche still right up behind him as they work themselves down into Blaustremont. Will Vinicius Roche try anything down in towards the bust-up chicane? No, not this time by. So it will still be Barber leading the way. There are your last lap times on the left-hand side of your screen. Barber, of course, 248.012. Vinicius Roche at 248.024. Past the start finishing line, you will see your top 3 drivers should have very similar lap times once they come past the stride. But Richard Avery is catching. He's in P number 5 and he's gained about 4 tenths of a second this lap alone. So expect Avery to do somewhere in the region of a 246, maybe 246.5 or so. We'll just have a look there. The time that you want to pay attention to, we'll just circle it for you right about here. Richard Avery does a 248.1, but that is about identical to what your race leader is doing right now. Philippe Barber at 248.0. So Avery didn't actually gain as much as he thought he would, and that was down to a very slow last doors for him that last time by, Ethan. Does look so. Oh, 1 minute. It does look as though we might have lost Ethan once again. So we'll just bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. But here we are on board with the driver of Richard Avery. As well, this is lap number 6 of 14, ladies and gentlemen, here in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. And Avery, we're right on board with him as he comes down in towards Rivage. Exit of Rivage. He comes right about now as he works himself now down towards No Name Corner. From here, Ethan, it's all going to be out pure power. He has actually gained about 4 tenths of a second this lap over Ricardo Ferrer.
Yes, he has. This has been incredible racing. Sorry if my mic went off there. But yeah, this is incredible racing so far in this race. Pit stops should be coming into play very shortly here, Will. Obviously, I just missed that incident. But yeah, hopefully this race can continue as well as it is. And yeah, pit stops should be good to watch.
Here's a fascinating fact. All drivers are currently scored on the lead lap. Brooks Lyette runs himself in P number 29. And the gap between himself and the race leader, yes, it's 1 minute 33 seconds. But all drivers are still in this event. And that is a great thing to see here in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. There you can see Philippe Barber. We have a look then from our aerial coverage. This is the run down in towards Blanchimont. We see, we'll just zoom back in there on Barber as they work themselves down into the ultra fast Blanchimont corner. Now down in towards the bus stop chicane they come. Now that pit window, it is officially open. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe one driver coming towards pit road this time by. Let's just zoom that camera out. No one in your top 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers are coming towards pit road. So everyone will go past half distance before they head themselves in towards the pit. Let's have a look further down. Is anyone else coming to? No, actually everyone is going long on this race. Now that is moderately surprising. We normally see 1 or 2 people decide that they will try and take the pit road early, and no one inside of your top 20 has decided to come on towards pit road, Ethan.
Yeah, that is a big shock there. I would have expected around here as well, Will. Must be trying to hold out for a few more laps and see when their rivals pit, who's ahead of them or behind them, wait and see until they pit and respond to that. But yeah, it's a shock that they haven't came in this lap.
I take it back. Philippe Barber is actually on pit road. We didn't see it initially on our screen, but Philippe Barber is on pit road, so there you can see your race leader has come on towards pit road. He is out and away. Pit stop time for him then is 11.5 seconds. Other people have come towards pit road. Matt Defoe, 7.9 seconds. He's back out onto the track. As you can see also, Catholic Pie, 12.9 seconds. A huge gaggle of cars there coming back out onto the racetrack. Ricardo Ferrer, 13.5 seconds. Avery, 12.5. 12 seconds exactly for Rob Reed. Paul Malocus in 12.6. Brian Dow in 13.7, Matt Defoe, Catholic Pie, Will Fisher have all made themselves pit stops, and that means that Vinny, for the time being, leads this motor race. Urinal Lampi is in P number 2 as they head themselves down towards Puan once again. Let's have a look on board from the rear of Vinicius Rocha. In towards Puan they come, exit that corner. There you can see now the gap is about 7 times per second as they come down in towards the final chicane. One of the more difficult sections on this racetrack because you've got to be so careful under braking not to lock a tyre. About 120 kilometers an hour through this section of the racetrack. But Barber coming on towards pit road a lap before we can see Vinicius Rocha coming on towards pit road. So Vinny now leads this motor race. Urinal Lampi is in second. Technically, Urinal Lampi led the last lap. So that's one thing to bear in mind. We're going to ride ourselves along board with Urinal Lampi as they head themselves on the exit of Stavolo number 2. This is a run down towards the bus stop chicane and that start finish line. Of course, pit entry here is a little bit later than what we normally expect. Expect it on the exit of La Source, not on the exit of the bus stop chicane, as we were just thinking a moment ago. So apologies for that one, ladies and gentlemen. It's a rookie mistake that we just made there. But here we're going to see on board of Urinal Lampi, the gap to himself and race leader. Well, that is about 0.5 of a second in towards the bus stop chicane they come. There you can see pit road is closed off here. But now, exit of the corner, they work themselves down towards La Source. And of course, after La Source, that is where the pit stop entry will be. And we'll just show that for you if Urinal Lampi doesn't come on towards pit road. And Vinicius Rocha from Urinal Lampi, from De Verde, from Grundi, then Carjan. They are your top 5 right now. But there you can see pit road entry is on the right hand side of your screen. We're going to get one driver in. We're going to get Vinny on towards pit road as well. And there you can see 2 drivers in. Urinal Lampi onto pit road. Vinicius Rocha is on towards pit road as we speak. Of course, that means we now need to turn our attention to this driver, Philippe Labeur. You can see already he is charging towards the start finish line. Let's get ourselves a look from our aerial coverage down in towards turn number 1. They come, and can Philippe Labeur maybe do something on pit road? There is Vinicius Rocha as he's on pit road as we speak. Here's his pit stop time. We expect it to be in the region of about 12 seconds. We know that one. 12.3 seconds. Out and away he comes. It's not over yet. We can see that Vinicius Rocha has got himself the race lead. No, he hasn't. He's actually lost the race lead for the time being because other drivers haven't come towards pit road. But Urinal Lampi is ahead of Philippe Labeur. Also, Labeur, though, will get himself a better run down potentially in towards Lacombe. Critical part of the race here. On board with Philippe Labeur. Battle for the race lead. Will he try and go past then the driver of Vinicius Rocha? The answer is, oh yes, he will. Philippe Labeur storms himself into what will be a net P1 after pit stops are done, Ethan.
Yes, indeed. Will pit stop strategy there, bit different to what I would have chosen, but it's worked out good. The fight will continue though at the front of the pack, and hopefully it's a good fight. I have to admit, it looks like it will be a good fight. A lot of cars come into pit road there now, Will.
Yeah, so we've got many cars have pitted so far. Let's have a look on board then with the driver of Urinal Lampi. He's actually fallen down. He's now behind Richard Avery. There you can see on board of him at 11.8 second stop there for Urinal Lampi compared to the 12.5 second stop Richard Avery. Avery, however, was able to leapfrog Urinal Lampi in that sequence of pit stops. A couple of people left to come on towards pit road. Your top 3 haven't yet pitted. They are Duncan Coppage, who we generally see go a little bit different to those around him. So he's yet to pit. There's Stefani is yet to pit. They can see we're riding ourselves on board of him for the moment. He is running himself in P number 2. And so far in this race, he's been all over the place. He's been as low as P number 17, as high as, well, P number 2 actually, once this lap will be scored complete. But Dave Stefani there in that number 11 machine, running himself nicely. This is down into Blanchimore corner. Bus stop chicane is next for him. And then also we've got ourselves Hakim Chaudhry. He is up 20 positions according to our timing and scoring for the time being, as he heads himself now down in towards the bus stop chicane himself. So he'll just work himself behind the trees. So just 1 second. There we are. And here he is, back into shot. Perfect. There you can see that number 52 machine heading himself now down towards what is the Grand Prix start finish line. Of course, in this series here today, they'll run just a little bit further than that one. They can see Stefani on the exit of that source. He is going to head himself on towards pit road, as will Duncan Coppage. So both of these drivers on towards pit road. We're going to cycle that camera around. Let's see whether Kadri is coming on towards pit road. We actually know just yet, so we're just going to turn our camera back, and indeed, Kadri will come on towards pit road this time by. So Coppage onto pit road, Stefani onto pit road, Kadri on towards pit road. That means all of our drivers have pitted. However, Vinicius Rocha has moved himself past there, past Philippe Leber. Replay of that one is going to come up for you because we now have ourselves a change, and this is for the overall race lead, and this is Vinicius Rocha. This is on the run down in towards the bus stop chicane. Vinicius Rocha down to the inside in Blanchimont. We saw this in GP2 the other day. It didn't work. Well, it did just work there for Vinicius Rocha. Russia leads this motor race. Leber down towards P2, but it's not over yet because Leber is just 0.5 on the second back. Vinny leads the way from Leber, from Avery, from Lampi, from Rob Reed. All drivers have now made themselves a pit stop. David Grunhill is just coming out of pit road, and actually he's on pit road as we speak, making himself a pit stop there in that number 207 car. He'll be back out and away in just one moment's time. As we have the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, we are very quickly going to take your RaceSpotTV side by side. We shall be right back.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here's RaceSpotTV, 4.5 laps to go, and yes, you saw it on RaceSpotTV side by side. Never miss a moment with RaceSpotTV side by side. That Philippe Leber has moved himself back ahead of Vinicius Rocha. This two-way battle now for the race lead. It is a two-way battle for the time being, Ethan. The gap is 2.2 seconds over Richard Avery. Now, we know in this series, though, that you can't battle too hard because otherwise you lose so much lap time that Avery will be back into the mix, as will be Ewan Lampi and also Rob Reed. And it could well easily be a five-way battle if Leber and Rocha fight too hard.
Yes, indeed. If you do fight too hard, especially in the Barber cars, the thin tires, they wear very easily. So yeah, you can't fight too hard, otherwise tire wear will come into effect. You don't want to have to wear your tires down to a point where you need to make a second pit stop. So yeah, this could be a five-way battle. I'd like to see the five-way battle happen because obviously it's 5 cars. It'd be amazing to see.
Rallying ourselves on board with Karthik Pai. He's currently scored in P number 13 on track. So he's battling it out with Matt Defoe, as you very often see on Sunday Night Skippies. You've also got yourself Will Fisher right behind. We'll just cycle that camera back around. We're keeping an eye out, of course, on the lead battle. But Karthik Pai with a 2.8 seconds advantage right now over Johnny Gawindi, who's battling it out with Will Fisher in that battle for position. Karthik Pai running himself in P number 13. After pit stops then, movers, shakers, well, Coppage with that late pit stop, he was able to move himself up a couple of places. He is now into P number 8 on track. As you can see, also, Cartry's up 11 places where he qualified, so good job by him here today. With Gawindi down 9 places, that is not a good race by him. We head ourselves further back, and you see David Grunhill down 14 positions. Ricardo Ferrer minus 24 spots, down at the very rear end of the field. That is not what you want to see in this event. But a little bit further out front, we're going to ride ourselves then along board with Rob Reed. They can see him in P number 5, battling it out with Ewan Olampi. Battle for P number 4 as they work themselves up the hill. From here, Ethan, a little bit of a lift into Erouge Radion, but from then, flat out, all the way down into Lacombe.
Yes, go over Rouge, the best complex in racing, in my perspective anyway. You gotta love it. It's historic, it's uphill, and then you got the flat and foul. If you get into slipstream, then in the straight above it, Rouge, the slipstream can come into effect and will come into effect, and then very easily just take them in the next corner.
Well, you can see that side by side already. This is Ewan Olampi versus Richard Avery, and Avery will stay ahead of Noor Olampi for the time being. No, actually, he won't. That's Avery there. Sorry, I got the tyres confused. Avery is behind Noor Olampi as they work themselves on the exit of Lacombe. So now, P number 3 is 3.2 seconds back behind your battle out front. So, let's have a look. And this is an interesting one in itself here, Ethan, because if you have yourselves Ewan Olampi, Avery and Rob Reed battling it out, it will allow your top 2 drivers to pull away, because of course the more you battle, the more that you are going to lose time by going side by side. It's quicker to just basically run your own race than it is to be battling every single corner.
Yeah, it's complicated in a way, I think, but just there I didn't see who it was. I believe I'm not 100% sure who it was, but 3 cars there going 3 wide into first chicane. Great fighting there. Must find out who that was for you, Will. But yeah, that was great fighting there for whoever it was.
You can see then, Labour is now almost 3.4 seconds ahead of Ewan Olampi. Vinicius Rocha still leads this motor race, 3.5 laps to go, as Rocha, of course, once again leads this event. We're going to ride ourselves along board, though, just one moment, with Labour towards the start-finish line on track. Exit of La Source down towards then the start finish line. There is Labour. The gap between himself and Rocky will come up at the line. It was going to be about 0.4 of a second. They come down in towards Erouge running on. You can see Labour gets himself a run. Now, we saw earlier that Labour didn't go to the race lead because he wanted to see what the gap would be. It looks like he's going to do it this time by anyway. He'll move himself to the outside, down in towards Lacombe. Nice, easy pass on at this point, Ethan. You're trying to figure out how early you need to go. Oh, we've got 3 wide behind, actually. We'll top to that one in a moment. 3 wide, battle for P number 3, 4, and 5. And there you can see it is going to be Ewan Olampi falling behind Rob Reed. Avery is down in P number 5, but Avery will move himself from the outside there through the Coombe, and that will move himself back into P number 4. But Rob Reed into a podium position for the time being, Ethan.
Yes, indeed. That is the second time they have gone 3 wide. Third time this race, but second time that lap they actually went 3 wide. It's great racing there for third. Yeah, and now Lebert is in first. It was a bit of a risky move. I wouldn't have went for it because he could have been stuck on outside for the chicane and quite possibly lost out in position and lost a bit of time. But yeah, he nearly spun there. He just lost the rear coming down. I believe that was a no-name corner. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Yeah, he just lost the rear there a bit. But yeah, Labour now in the lead.
Well, here through the final chicane they come once again. Just down the pack, just want to give you a couple of updates, by the way. David Gordon here, Ricardo Ferrer out of the race. Apart from that, we have everyone still running, everyone still on the lead lap, 27 drivers on the lead lap. Will Fisher just running ourselves along board of him. This is down in towards Fong as we speak. He's battling it out as we speak with Johnny Grindy. P number 14-15 as they exit the curve out the corner, down towards Stavolo they come. As well, we got ourselves again side by side. We go on board then with the driver of Richard Avery. He's just moved himself up into P number 3 ahead of Rob Reed. Down towards the bus stop chicane they come. And well, Avery we know is strong in this car, but still he's got to find a way of breaking that draft. I don't think he has a chance to catch up to the top 2 right now, Ethan, because these P3, 4 and 5 keep on battling for positions, and that allows these top 2 to scarper away.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you don't want to be fighting if you're trying to catch cars ahead of you. That is something you do not want to do, is fight, because you're losing a lot of time every corner, and that's then the first 2 cars go off and have the battle of their own, or even just pull away without even fighting and leave the fighting to the final lap where they can confirm first and second. So yeah, you don't want to be fighting when you're trying to catch other cars. I think it's just stupid.
Well, down towards the start-finish line they come. You can see Vinicius Rocha actually right back there in the action with Philippe Labour. Will he repay the favour from the lap before? Well, we will find out as they come down towards Lecombe. As well, no, for the time being, Russia will stay behind. Now, this is what we often see with the driver of Vinicius Rocha. He will wait until the last moment to make a pass. He's just going to play the waiting game. And that waiting game, well, you might see that for the next lap and a half on board then with Vinny. This is the middle section of the racetrack. And from here on in, Ethan, what you do is you basically sit and wait until the exit of Stavolo.
Indeed, you want to wait until the last time possible. There's still a fight going on. I believe it's for 3rd place between Rob Reed and Richard Avery, if I'm correct. But yeah, that fight's still continuing, and yeah, you want to leave it the last minute possible before you attack, and then you'll be able to conserve a bit more tires than the person ahead of you has. So yeah, you want to leave that till preferably the last sector or so.
Exit then RP1 down towards the final chicane they come once again. A lap and a half to go behind. You can see you've got yourselves that ongoing battle. P number 3, 4 and 5 on track behind. We have still got ourselves some interesting battles going on. Here's Duncan Coppage versus Paul Malukas. We have ourselves a look on board with that number 43 machine of Duncan Coppage down in towards the final chicane they come. 1.5 laps to go in their race right about now. As well, let's just scrapping it out for position. As Philippe Labour, Vinicius Rocha, 0.4 of a second is the gap. I don't expect there to be a pass, and even if there is, it doesn't mean anything. We'll see something happen probably on the final lap of the event. But Rocha, he's probably going to size up Labour at this point and figure out what he needs to do on the final lap of this event. We've seen so many battles between these 2 drivers as we look on board with Vinicius Rocha, number 45, Jack Daniels' car. And you see, he's holding that accelerator pedal just a little bit. Not as far down as he wants to. He's going to wait until the final lap of this event. The white flag will be out in just a couple of moments' time. Rob Reed, Avery, side by side then, through the bus stop chicane. Avery will be the beneficiary of that one for the time being. It's Avery versus Reed versus Nora Lampe, P3, 4 and 5. Great little scrap going on. There you can see Paul Malukas, Duncan Coppage is still going on behind. Frank Winter versus Brian Dow for P number 10 and P number 11. But ladies and gentlemen, the white flag is out. 1 more lap to go. Will Rocha make that move now? We circle our camera around. Let's figure it out. He might try and do it now. He might wait until... I think actually he's just waiting for the time being. This is going to be an interesting one. Vinicius Rocha, up the hill he comes. Down towards Lecombe he comes. As will he go to the outside? It looks like he's going to go to the outside this time by for the race lead. Vinicius Rocha will move himself to the point. Rocha to the race lead, Ethan.
Yes, he has. I don't think he can keep it there. I think there's a bit of stupidity there. It looks, I could be wrong, but it looks as if he has a bit of suspension damage. From what I see anyway, he's holding the steering wheel a bit to the right. I'm not sure if that's the way these cars are. Don't race these as much. But yeah, I don't think he can hold on to this lead at all. Well, I'd say the last few corners, he will lose it.
Well, yeah, there's a term in NASCAR terminology. It's called being a sitting duck. Vinicius Rocha has the lead for the moment. If we come out of this corner, you can see Philippe Labeur. Well, he's still behind in the Puyon corner of the track, and you can see he has himself down in towards Puyon as we speak. Just a couple of corners left to go. Don't forget, this race does not end after the bus stop chicane. It will end after La Source. We may yet have a photo finish. Philippe Labeur is stalking, haunting Vinicius Rocha down into Fonya for the final time in this event. You've got to set yourself up perfectly here, because after this corner, it's going to be flat out all the way down to bus stop. This is Stavelot. You need to get yourself a good run out of Stavelot to then set yourself up nicely all the way through Blanchimont into the bus stop. Whether you pass in the bus stop or whether you pass after the bus stop, that is the $64,000 question. Here you can see Labeur is already thinking about what he wants to do. They are pretty much nose to tail. Down they come into Blanchimont for the final time in this event. Labeur to the outside. He wants to go early. He wants the inside line to the final corner. We've seen a couple of incidents before on Sunday Night Skippies, but Labeur to the inside into the bus stop chicane. Labeur will take the lead of this motor race. One corner to go. After this one, Vinny pushes wide. It looks as though this will be Philippe Labeur's. Vinny pushes wide. It looks as though Philippe Labeur has this in the bag. Vinny cracks under pressure. We never see this. By the number 45 car, Philippe Labeur will have a La Source all to himself behind Noir still battling out with Rob Reed battling for position, but Philippe Labeur will be the victor here at Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. Philippe Labeur holds off an incredible challenge from Vinicius Rocha. That one came all the way down to the final couple of corners, but Philippe Labeur is your winner here today. Vinicius Rocha second, Avery third, Rob Reed fourth, Nora Lampe in fifth. But let's have a look again at Vinicius Rocha. We're going on board with him now. This is the run down in towards the final couple of corners. I just want to have a listen to the engine note here. This is down in towards the bus stop chicane. He overshoots. He catches the white line. He overshoots. Vinicius Rocha, unforced error under pressure, gives the race win to Philippe Labeur. Labeur, one of the biggest wins of his career so far in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. He went toe-to-toe with Vinicius Rocha, and he came out on top. The granddaddy of them all, Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. And I tell you one thing, Ethan, that driver, Philippe Labeur, is going to be incredibly happy after this event.
He is indeed. Well, it's been a great race, great fight. Just looking here at the driver chat, and someone, I don't believe, but someone was mentioning losing the lead pack because he's fighting. That's guaranteed. If you fight, you're going to lose the car ahead of you. But yeah, great win. I still think that Labeur should have waited a bit longer.
Indeed. Well, Philippe Labeur, he wins the race. He wins it in emphatic fashion here today. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is your final race results. There you can see there, 2 seconds almost at the line. Philippe Labeur claims victory. The Skip Barber 2K World Cup. Vinicius Rocha in second. Richard Avery in third. Junor Lampe in fourth. Then we've got ourselves Rob Reed in fifth. Arjun de Vert in sixth. Jürgen Karlsson in P number 7. Then even further back you have yourselves there the driver of... Right, 1 second ladies and gentlemen. There we are. We have ourselves the driver of Pumalokas, Frank Winter, Brian Dow, rounding out your top 10. We're going to get ourselves a word with Philippe Labeur as we just cycle through the rest of the results on your screen. Philippe, it came down to the final couple of corners, but this time you were able to get the better of Vinicius Rocha.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. The last few laps were crazy, crazy. I didn't think I could do it. Vinny's just too good, but well, he made a little mistake, I think, in braking for the bus stop chicane. I tried around the outside of Blanchimont, just like Verstappen did earlier today, and it worked. And yeah, it was a great racing.
Well, it was a tough battle. You got yourself the job done on pit road. You got yourself the job done on the racetrack as well. How satisfying is a victory when you know that you won this one by yourself with no outside help at all, battling one of the best that this series has seen?
Well, it's about time. I've been struggling with my brake pedals for 2 seasons. I finally got new ones, and I think it has something to do with it. I have to thank HPP pedals for making such great, well, machinery. It's been great, and I'm still getting used to them. And I think well, you'll see more of me like this in the future, I hope. But the others are quick as well. So.
Good victory here today. Next round we'll do it all over again. Can you do back-to-backs? I mean, you say before that the championship's always a little bit something that you don't necessarily think about, but can you go back-to-back? What do you think it can do for the championship? Because, of course, Avery placed in P number 3, not his best result of the season.
I don't think I can win the championship. I'll try to do my best at Oran Park, but it's not my best track. Last year I qualified 10th and I finished like 11th or something. So I don't have my hopes up, but I will try. Maybe I started a run now. Who knows?
Well, congratulations, Philippe Leber, winning here today. Vinicius Rocha came home in P number 2. Vinny, talk us through your race.
Well, first of all, congratulations to Philippe. He was really amazing. I tried my best to defend myself, and he knew how to attack and got me distracted. The bus stop, I missed my brake markers. Big win for him. Congratulations. But I have nothing much to say. It was a great race. I didn't make any mistakes except for the last one. But I think it was one of my best and really deserved the win today.
It's a tough track always here at Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. You didn't win the pit road battle, which is a little bit interesting because generally you do, and then you didn't win the battle on the racetrack. But when you made that pass into Lacombe in the final lap of the race, how did you think maybe I went too early? Did you rather do it there than do it down at the bus stop?
No, not really. My strategy was to pass him there. I knew he would try to overtake me in the other straight, and I would try to defend myself into the bus stop. But unfortunately, I missed my brake marker, so I don't know what would have happened. But I think it would be a crazy finish if I hadn't made that mistake.
Well, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, Vinicius Rocha down pit. You say it's unfortunate you coming down in P number 2, Vinny, but next time out, looking to go back to victory lane?
Oh yeah, of course. To be honest, I never raced on that track, and next week will be a little difficult for me to be here, but I do my best. I hope to be here to fight for the first position.
Well, next time out, ladies and gentlemen, we go do something a little bit different. There's one racetrack that we know, which is a figure 8, that is Suzuka. We run that all the time in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. We're doing another figure 8. This is Oran Park for round number 11 of 12 of the championship. We go down under to what is a fast, furious, upside down racetrack. And it'll be here, same time, same place, next week here on RaceSpotTV. Don't forget, Monday Night Skippies are tomorrow, as well as the V8 Supercar Series. They head themselves over to Montreal. The next round of the World Championship Grand Prix Series, oh yeah, that's right back here at Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. For myself, Will Vincent, Ethan, we'll talk to you all, ladies and gentlemen, next time. Bye-bye.